Good morning, everyone. If I could just pour a glass of water before I start. So my name is Jeff Flanagan. I'm the MD of the Commercial Business Unit within Support Services. Focus of this presentation is on private sector FM. And the business unit is a combination of the old Interserve private sector FM business and Initial FM. I joined Interserve in February of this year, excited by the opportunity, the people, and the strategy. Previously, I was with Mighty for 11 years, fulfilling various roles, including MD of the security business, including the previous acquisition and integration of Initial Security. I then moved on to Group Corporate Development Director and was most recently MD of New Ventures, focusing on developing capability in terms of services to the citizen. Prior to Mighty, I ran my own cleaning and security business, and that was sold to Mighty in 2003, and prior to that, I spent 12 years in corporate finance with KPMG. So what is the commercial business unit as it currently exists within support services at Interserve? Interserve has always been in the private sector, and the BBC contract, which is the largest contract within the business unit that I run, was won prior to the initial acquisition. The combined private sector FM business within support services is approximately 900 million turnover, and that private sector revenue is split between the commercial business unit and the industrial business unit, with the most significant proportions sitting within the commercial business unit. The split now within support services between public sector and private sector clients is now approximately 50-50. All the main service lines are represented within the commercial business unit, including cleaning, security, catering, hard services, and energy advice. Within the private sector, we have real focus on transport, retail, education, catering, and the corporate market. So why Initial? What was the compelling strategic rationale? I'm not going to read through all of these. These obviously went up at the time of the transaction. But Initial was obviously a game changer for both Interserve private sector FM and support services overall. We're now a top 3 player. There's real complementarity of service lines and skill sets as a result of the combination of the acquisition, and we now have an enhanced platform for growth. So a quick slide on a reminder of what we bought. Initial business was split and integrated, as I said, within 2 business units within support services, industrial and commercial, the largest part remaining with the commercial business unit. Initial was focused 85 to 15 private to public sector FM, largest customer being London Underground, which has been retained for a further 2 years post-acquisition. Transport sector remains a real market opportunity and one where we have a strong understanding of working in a unionized environment. So this graph shows the landscape pre- and post-acquisition, with 3 columns highlighted in blue showing the old Initial facilities, the Interserve business pre-acquisition in 2013, and the combined entity. It was obviously a fragmented marketplace, and obviously some changes have happened post-acquisition. Coakley acquiring Balfour BT Workplace Solutions, and CBRE recently acquiring Johnson Controls. In terms of an integration update, integration has been delivered to plan and budget. Initial is no longer a separately reported entity within the business unit and support services. The final stage with a move onto one financial system in 2016. We have a stronger combined management team with complementarity of skill sets, and the respective strengths of both businesses make a much stronger combined business proposition. So this is the commercially addressable market that we're looking at. The UK FM market size, both public and private sector, is approximately 70 billion, and 42% of that still remains within in-house. Single services are still the largest part by opportunity, but the reality in the marketplace in the last 5 years, and more bundled contracts and integrated contracts have been placed. Opportunity exists in both growing single service and bundled IFM in terms of security nationally, catering in the education sector, and hard services leveraging off substantial credentials we already have within the public sector. So these are some growth rates indicating single service, bundled, and IFM. We obviously need to continue to develop strong single service line capability and increase market share, and this will assist us in developing both bundled and IFM opportunities, and this will be in addition to bidding IFM opportunities that come out directly. So here are a selection of our clients and the significant ones that need to be mentioned. We have a large number in financial services, JP Morgan, Deutsche Bank and KPMG to name three. BBC, which is our largest integrated FM contract. This is mobilised well, and there's more about this later in terms of a particular case study. B&Q demonstrates our ability to trade up from a single service and the strength of our customer relationship. JLL, where we work with the managing agents, and we've expanded this relationship by both service line and geography. Xerox, where we have a strong embedded relationship for TFM, and we're very much a trusted partner. We've extended our service line offering and geographic reach, stretching into Europe. William Hill, where we demonstrate real high street retail capability, which is very much logistics focused and puts us in quite a strong market position in terms of delivering and offering this particular service. And Exterion, the last one, which is a recently won contract, won in the middle of 2014, was the first generation outsource win, helping the client to put up posters through the London Underground. Before I click onto the next slide, we've got a quick clip about our real focus within the business, which is on customer experience. Increasingly, this marketplace is not simply about what may some perceive as a commoditized service. The customer experience is increasingly more important. Take, for example, the London Stock Exchange, where we provide security. Our people were the first point of contact this morning, both providing a welcome and giving confidence you're in a secure environment. One of the real areas of focus for us is sector-leading customer experience, and providing the necessary training to our people on the ground is essential to achieving this. The following video clip demonstrates how we make this happen. By way of clarification, in the video, we've got a reference to Perception, which is our sub-brand for front of house services within the London marketplace. So I'll play the clip now on the customer experience.
We employ a diverse workforce that work for support services. So therefore, they come to the table with lots of skills already, and obviously different attributes, knowledge. And what we want to try and do is capture that knowledge that they have existingly, but also to build on it.
Our customer service program is aimed at front of house colleagues, and it's all about dealing with visitors from different cultural backgrounds, helping visitors with impairments, but also managing emotions. The company is only as good as the people on the floor running front desk and protecting the buildings. Giving them the right training should translate into achieving the Vision 2020 objectives. And the most important things that I'd like them to take away is that they protect the brand of our clients, of the companies based in the building, and that they get an understanding of that, and they understand that the role they play is crucial in the success of the company.
On one of our particular sites that we've got actually in Docklands, the client did stress that he felt that the cleaning staff were invisible. They didn't interact with anyone. So we rolled out programs for them, and as a result of that program, they're starting to interact a lot more with the client and with members of the public.
The Ambassador Programme is a basic programme developed to try and look at customer service from a frontline perspective. So not your off-the-shelf polished kind of reception style. It looks at your image and how that impacts on the business and the company brand. It also looks at just general customer service overall, and how to handle challenging behaviours. One thing it has really done is engaged colleagues, and it's got them really on board with what we're trying to do and what we're trying to achieve. People have gone back to site and they've all been talking really positively to their colleagues, but not only that, they're talking positively to the client as well. Generally, that's just going to create a really great working culture on the sites that they work on.
What I realised in this issue is that making another person to be happy, getting to the bottom of what they are looking for, and they are satisfied with the service given to them, they are happy, and I too am happy about it.
Great customer service starts by understanding your customers. Everyone's different, and when people go through any experience, their wants and needs change, but actually it's about relationships. You know, it's about our people building relationships with their customers, and the more they do that, the more chance they've got of delivering a great customer experience. Here at BBC Salford, they were really keen when this site opened that we would really look at taking customer service to another level.
And the idea is that we'll take the best of every site that we've got, combine that into a training programme, deliver that to all of our staff so that any customer that comes to our site gets a consistent level of service.
I think the behaviour change we've seen with people as we've gone through this programme has been, firstly, they understand the customer journey in more detail, therefore they start to think through the eyes of the customer. So they think about the experience they deliver from a customer's perspective.
The guys are actually getting out onto site, onto the floors, having, human interaction with people and having valued interactions that customers can remember.
I don't like the phrase good customer service because we deliver world-class customer service. We're not about saying no, we're about finding alternative solutions.
I would really say go and speak to your customers, go and have a face-to-face conversation with them. Don't take on too much, but take on enough and also know that what you can deliver so you'll never fail a promise.
Right, if I could move on to the private sector strategy. 9 particular areas that I want to talk about. The first one is continuation of that video and real customer service focus. Clients increasingly expect us to have an understanding of their business drivers and strategic goals. So therefore we need to try and think how they will think and know what is important to them. We very much believe in a sector-based approach, and expertise is increasingly more important. We therefore need to continue building sector capabilities such as transport, retail, education and corporates. We've realigned the business structurally and operationally to match the sectors that we're targeting, enabling optimization of the subject matter experts. This process is made all the easier within the commercial business unit by all service lines being present. We're building an increasing number of subject matter experts within the business, and this is ever more important. The customer now expects an understanding of their business drivers. We're now able to develop both single service lines and also, with the extended breadth of service offering, to develop single service into bundled services and integrated offerings. We can develop both geographically and service line. Geographic expansion is a real possibility now as security is largely focused within the London marketplace. So there's an opportunity to take that nationally and also to broaden the service offering. We have the opportunity with catering to establish greater presence in private sector, trading off our existing relationships on bundled service contracts and also through TFM relationships. In terms of service line expansion, we have security, as I say, going from the central London man guarding proposition to a national broader-based capability. And on mobile engineering, which is a service area that we are relatively have a low presence in, we will come off our strong site-based hard service capability and also harness the benefits that we have within other parts of support services looking after significant critical government infrastructure. It's increasingly important, as we move to this sector-based approach, that we maintain assurance of service delivery, standards and consistency in respect of individual service lines. Target operating model and centres of excellence are 2 ways that we do this and represent a significant step towards ensuring service line best practice and integrity. This is very important, as I say, where an individual service can be delivered into various sectors in different parts of support services. TOM and centres of excellence are also an essential component of controlling costs and avoiding wasteful practices. And finally, in terms of innovation, one of the unique things we have within the commercial business unit is an embedded lean program, and we have in excess of 18 professionals embedded within the business unit, and an integral part of the business that allows innovation and evolution of the contract through its life cycle, starting day one, and delivers value for money and change to satisfy the customer's needs. And I want to highlight some of the contracts that we have that exemplify some of those points that we've covered there. So I can move on to the first one, which is Network Rail. This is a contract worth £15 million a year over a 5-year term, to manage the cleaning services across 17 managed stations and 400 operational sites. We cover such stations as Paddington, Waterloo, Liverpool Street, which have raised the visibility of Interserve's brand considerably. The stations that we look after see over 2 billion passengers a year, with Waterloo stations seeing 100 million a year. Over the term of the contract, we've grown this contract by approximately 4 million by adding additional work streams such as high-level cleans and additional stations. Our reputation in the transport sector is one of strength and growth, and our relationship with the customer one of collaboration and support. The opportunities with Network Rail for growth are exciting, as they're about to tender a full soft services portfolio. In addition, Network Rail currently procure around 5 billion of outsourcing service lines. Shopping centres is another area where we have real sector focus. We have a current annualised value in this space of approximately 20 million, and by September 2015, we will have 27 million. This has grown by approximately 30% by being able to offer an integrated service, which is a key differentiator under a dedicated team. Our wider market reputation is growing, and our market share in the top 450 centres in the UK is 11%, and by number that represents 55, including the recent JLL award. The market is demanding an increased sector-specific approach, and integrated delivery is now seen as standard to gain a foothold. Our current pipeline, in terms of bids that are in train this year, is very strong. We have 25 million of bids that we're processing at the moment with JLL, Westfield and Hammerson, both from a managing agent perspective and property owners direct. And in 2016 that continues. There's an additional 16 million of opportunities that have been identified in the early part of 2016, some for existing clients and some for new clients. So again, a very exciting sector that we are in. Talk a little bit about education catering. Our brand in this space is Eden, which came with the initial acquisition. The government strapline of proposition in this marketplace is supporting sharper minds and better academic achievement through increased school meal uptake, enabled by fresh ideas and nutritious food. So the introduction of universal free school meals to Key Stage 1 pupils has been a key driver in terms of growth in year. Our meal numbers that we served in this space in 2014 were 49,000. In 2015, this has increased to 70,000 and is expected to increase further in 2015. If that uptake moves on to Key Stage 2, there's a further impetus and growth driver within the marketplace. The Eden brand and service has suffered several years of underinvestment, and this is why sales historically had remained flat. Interserve have invested in this brand and re-energised Eden significantly, and our reputation now within the marketplace is excellent. We have very strong relationships with Bristol, Cornwall, Brighton and Bedfordshire, and this new look in marketing and the investment in technology and POS systems has been a real catalyst for reinvigorating this business. The total outsourced catering marketplace is approximately 2.4 billion, of which 450 billion is outsourced in education. Approximately 30% of this market, the education market, has been outsourced, so there remains significant growth potential. Our sales pipeline is strong and retention has been excellent, and investment in technology and training academy has reinforced our belief in Eden. We also have, I believe, a unique USP with a software product called My Eden. This allows parents to specify what their children eat for lunch. This is important from the perspective of allergy control and nutrition, so they can actually log on through a computer and specify what their kids are able to eat during the day. So with my children particularly, you don't want them eating popcorn, you want them to eat a nutritious meal. You can actually do this through a software application. So the current turnover of Eden Food Services is 24 million, and we cover 260 primary schools and 35 secondary schools. And we have two very new and distinct offerings in this space: Food Farm targeted at primary schools and Food Hub at secondary schools. So again, another very exciting sector that we are operating in. As I referred earlier, a case study on BBC, which is now the single largest contract within the commercial business unit. The contract is worth 150 million over 5 years and manages all facilities and 26 service lines. So there are 150 facilities, 590,000 square metres of space. These facilities include Broadcasting House in London, Media City in Salford, Pacific Quay in Glasgow, and all of the BBC sites. A very, very varied estate. 26 service lines ranging from building engineering to reception, security and cleaning. We cover all of the service lines with the exception of catering. We are responsible for continuity of power supplies to all BBC critical broadcasting sites in the UK, influencing over 45% of all UK TV output. The BBC's confidence around our engineering resilience to assure broadcast continuity and our vision for the customer experience, which you saw in the video clip, were key in winning this contract. We mobilised in April 2014 and we transferred 1,100 staff under 2P from 3 different incumbent FM suppliers. And over the last 12 months, we've right-sized the operations to 850 team members, including a major reorganisation of all BBC engineering activities in London. We resolved long-term legacy inefficiencies we've been built up by the BBC over a very long period of time in terms of their engineering provision. And we continue to support the BBC through a challenge of reducing costs in line with the requirements of the new BBC Charter and licence fee, the annual fee having reduced from year 1 to year 2 by 2.5 million. The opportunities to grow this contract remain very, very positive, and we should be in a position to deliver between 10 to 15 million of additional works and projects for the BBC over the course of the next 12 to 18 months, focusing on studio cleaning in London and Salford. In terms of our international credentials and capability, I want to talk about Sony. And this is a recently started contract. We provide integrated facilities management to Sony across 41 pan-European locations, 27 countries, covering offices, R&D facilities and retail sites. Contract is for an initial 3-year period with options for a 2-year extension and has an annual value of 9 million euros. We've developed a strong service delivery focus with Sony across Europe and brought both value for money and standardization. Opportunities exist for additional buildings and services both in the UK and Europe, and we will work with Sony through a period of business change, and it's a great example of us working with our client and following our client both in the UK and into Europe. Saeed, who's speaking later, will talk more about our FM capability that is developing within the Middle East, but I'm particularly excited about opportunities that certain of our clients present to go with them outside of the UK. And the final case study is B&Q, a very brief one showing the power of customer relationships. Contract detail on this is we have about 6 million of catering into the contract, providing all the coffee shops within the B&Q estate. We're in year 2 of a 3-year contract. Cleaning is worth about 12 million, and we're in year 1 of a 3-year deal. And in the last 12 months, we've doubled the number of locations that we have with B&Q. We started in 2010, we acquired half of the cleaning estate in 2013, and the remainder because of our success in service provision in 2014. So our reputation with this client has worked extremely well, and we have a very close working ties with them. Opportunities remain going forward, particularly in terms of their HQ in Eastleigh for a full TFM contract. That remains the one last element, cleaning, that we don't have. And we're in a very strong position to pick that up, hopefully in the last quarter of this year, but also develop other opportunities in guarding and maintenance. So in summary, our focus on the customer is at the heart of every opportunity. We have a number of areas that I just want to remind everyone of. Key for us is attracting, develop and retain outstanding people. We have a real focus now on operational excellence, and I believe in the target operating model, Tom, and the centres of excellence. We have a real USP in terms of service delivery consistency throughout our contract base. We are very much focused now on creating a sector-leading customer experience. Our current customer retention rates are somewhere between 80 and 90%. We have a target to get to 90+% within a 12 to 18 month horizon. We have a sector-based approach which positions the business to enhance relationships and to sell more to the existing customer base. Transport is a huge opportunity for us, and we have real capability and credibility. In the retail market space, although it's highly competitive and challenging, it's an ever-present, and we're one of the few truly credible operators now in that space. In security within London, we have an outstanding reputation in the London marketplace, and the opportunity to progress to a more national provider by developing a wider service provision through patrols, monitoring and technology, and a national footprint is a significant one. Catering will evolve in the private sector, very much through trading up on our existing customer relationships in TFM contracts in the private sector, and obviously in the education market with the advent of universal free school meals offers real growth potential. So concluding, we very much want to follow our clients and provide them with more services, whether in the UK or overseas. Thank you very much.